This
as well.
conference will now be recorded.
Yep. Sorry for that. Yesterday I was off a bit, so I'm not able to take the class yesterday.
Oh,
It was
okay,
all of
okay,
that.
sure. Yeah. Hope you are good now.
Yeah, on the day zero, I'm just giving you a glance on what we discussed in the previous classes. Basically, on day zero, we have discussed about manual testing and yeah, how manual testing will be writing test cases for any scenarios. It will cover positive and negative scenarios, and that was we discussed on the day zero. It was basically of introduction of manual testing and also the automation testing. So right now, so we are going to continue the class of Python. So yeah, on day one we have started with the Python. Python we have implemented a couple of things which are related to strings, integers, and basic functionalities of Python. So here we are. So we are discussing in the last class about list and tuples. So these are the last class topics. Yeah, I'm just give you. We'll start from the starting. Can you able to see my screen?
I cannot see it.
Ah, wait, I'm not sharing it. Okay. Yep. I think it should be visible now.
Yes, yes.
Yep. So basically, on the Python, we have covered main topics like integers and strings and string manipulations. So that has been implemented, and we'll be going to. Okay, by Python, we have discussed this earlier, but yep. So why we are using Python? So it is easy to read and easy to maintain, and it is portable. These are the main higher level advantages of Python. So high level programming, and it is very interactive, and database interface are inbuilt within Python, and GUI programming also is supportable with Python. We'll be using GUI related Python packages like Tinker and also Django in Python. So those are main configurations. On the first day of the day one, we have discussed how to implement a print statement using local interface, like using command prompt. So we are saving a file called .py extension, and we are running it through the command prompt, and we can see the output in command prompt console. That was one of the example. So that has been implemented in recent versions also. Syntax is a important uh, functionality that comes in the Python. So in Java, it doesn't have any indentation rules, but in Python we have indentation rules. Indentation meaning again the spacing between every statement that you are passing to Python. So here you can see an example. So if you are using a I mean conditions, if conditions. So the placing of print statements, how it is used, we have seen it in the earlier classes. So this is how it looks like: block 1, block 2, and block 3. It will execute block 1. After that, it will execute block 2, which is inherited for block 1 and block 2. This is how it is. So indentation plays a major role in Python. We used variables in the previous classes, and this is like example right now. So using numbers and strings and characters in. So that was one of the assignment values to the Python. using variables. So we have also discussed the data types. So data types are of a couple of here we can just directly see the things. So numbers are immutable objects in Python. We know that. So we have integers and floating numbers. Floating numbers which is of decimal point values, and complex numbers, real number and imaginary part. So we have we saw a couple of examples in that too. So this is an real and complex number and string, and also this is a character, and also this is an integer. So we worked on a couple of things like that. Yeah, string formatting, we use like how to format a string, mutable a string. I mean, changing the strings by adding through index values, and slicing, concatenation, basically adding. So we also saw this kind of functionalities before in the before class, basically. Yep. So we covered till here in the last class. Yep. So we are also having the Python inbuilt packages. We know for the last class we saw count and maximum and minimum, and also the length of string by using directly passing that command to the Python package like this, directly asking for the type and count, and we also use count, and yeah, here it is. We directly use count. So we have used an L as a variable, and we assign some of the values of list, and we printed some of the index from 1 to 6, and we reversed one of the element, and we asked for maximum and minimum and length and count of 33 element in the list. These are the configurations that we used before. Right now here we can also see there are like other Python configurations. Here we also use same such a way we can also use string dot is alpha. So basically it returns true if a string has one character, or else all characters are alphanumeric, or else it will show the false. String is digit, so basically it returns true if string contains only digits, or else false. So basically it will check the all the string values are integers or not. We have string lower, string upper. It will convert all the uppercase to lower, or else if you use string upper, it will convert all the lowercase values to upper. So that is the basic difference. And we have replace. So if we have any mutable concepts, and if you want to go back to your old version of string, so we will be using replace. So it will be working as like some replace all the occurrences from old to the new. That is basic concept. And yeah, we have split and strip, and also the title. So title case string, it will also if you are like denoting a title in your string, so it will return the title case version of the string. These are all inbuilt commands that can be used in Python. So there are many of such like that, but if we are like talking about like string, these are the main inbuilt packages that can be worked on Python. Yeah, we saw how a list can be mutable, and also the slicing, and also concatenation and repetition. So repetition, basically you are putting in a multiply, and you're multiplying that list into a couple of times. Yeah, we saw comparison. Basically this is also one of the main things. So comparison of list 1 and list 2. So we will be using command called cmp, and we have length of list, and maximum of list, minimum of list, and list of tuple. So basically tuple, we know it is not changeable. So if you want to convert into a tuple, so you can just list of you the value of tuple. Tuple meaning again it is also a type of array character, so it will be using that string. I mean, like that list can't be changeable, and also it's not immutable. It will be a tuple. Okay. Now we have another commands again here. So we have list.append. Append meaning we know like concatenation. Append basically by using append we can add the values to the last of the characteristics of list. Basically we are having a list of index of 6. If we are appending anything, it will be adding to the 7, 8, 9 kind of indexes. So we have insert is another method, so that can be used in Python. So insert, count, index, remove, and reverse and sort. So reverse, you can also reverse is a that command that we can use to you reverse a string, and also sorting is also available in Python. Basically, for sorting, we need to write some of the commands for I mean like some of the logic in Java, but in Python we have direct commands such as sorting, reverse, and remove, and index. So that is the best feature that you can find in Python. So these are the examples for words that can be used in Python. So these are all the functionalities that like keywords. Basically, keywords are the methods that you can use to directly uh, use in Python language. So and assert and break, class, continue, define, def, and delete, if, else. These are all the examples of Python executable methods. Yeah, we have come to tuples. Tuples are immutable, we know, and we worked on a couple of things, and yeah, basic hash table. So this is one of the concept of Python. So hash table always hash meaning whenever we see hash and table. So basically, hash table meaning it's a key value pair always. So like an example, if a rule number one and the name which is having on side by side. So let's say one is the root number for some name, example name, Shweta or something like that. So it is always a pair value. So that is one of the example. Or else if a person and its phone number is also a key value pair. Always some name or else something numbers can be a value pair for another value is in key value pairs. So basically in Python we use hash values to storing couple of key value data. So by using data structure, so by integers and also the strings, whatever we can also always have either strings and also integers as a key value pair. So here we have something like this. So here we are giving John Smith having this bucket of number 01, and Lisa Smith having 02, and Sandra D having 14 as a key value pair. So hash map, what hash functionality is always wherever you execute John Smith, it will go into the 02 line, and it will execute this number 5 to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And wherever we execute Sandra D, it will go for 14, and it will execute 5 to 1 9655. And dictionary is also an value pair, but it's unordered elements. So Python dictionaries are mutable, they can be changed. Dictionary is kind of thing, basically an unordered structured immutable arrays that can be found in. We'll execute one of the examples. Yep, this is one of the examples of dictionary. So here in dictionary we are using these brackets. So basically we have given with math 90 and physics of here we are using key value pairs. So here we are giving math as a part of 90 key value pair, and also physics and value of 50, the key value pair, and English is also in string object, and which is key value pair with the 95. So we are painting marks, and we are painting if suppose we are marking for math it should execute for 90, and marks it for physics it will execute for 50, as this should be the output of three string elements. Yep, I'm just running this. See, pop is one of the again inbuilt command. So pop is a command that is used to delete element from a dictionary. That command. So we can also do del del, and instead of del del, we will be using pop pop for deleting key value pairs in our local. Yeah, this is one of the examples. So here, what is happening is in the first print statement, we have given a marks of dictionary values. So dictionary values, array values. So it has a key value pairs, and we are just printing marks as an integer, which we have assigned some of the key value pairs to the marks. And we are printing for marks of math value we have executed, and 90, 50, 95 are the respective execution that happened for the print statement. After that, we have used student detail, and we have given some of the configuration for this, and we have came executed each element. Let's say for course of Java, we have in the space of course we have given a value of Java. So it is came across, and it got a key value pair here. So pop we use for delete, and this is what happening in this script. That's it. Not a big change. So these are the dictionary commands that can be inbuilt package commands again. So if you want to compare two dictionary values, we will be using CMP compare dictionary 1 and dictionary 2. And if you want to have a length of dictionary, and we'll be using ln of dictionary, and it will also give the total number of key value pairs that are present in our dictionary. So this is one of the direct commands again. Dictionary keys, or whatever keys, that key again, key meaning. So if you are value pairing with an item of a string, so it will be having some equal to value. So let's say a equal to b is an key value. So if you want to return that key values, we'll be using dictionary of keys of some value, defined value, and you will be getting the output value as dictionary keys. And dictionary values, you will be listing out the value which are in dictionary, and dictionary items. So whatever, so this is the configuration that we'll be using. Returns a list of dictionary having key to the value pairs and tuple pairs. If you want to get any specific key, and a default equal to none, so you'll be having something like this, specific values. So update clear, if you are having a new dictionary and you want to update old one, so you'll be directly using update command, and also for dictionary also clear command, like clear object. So we gone through control statements, if statement, if else statement. We have also worked on couple of examples. And we also use conditional statements. So basically, smaller than and greater than in the previous classes. We covered this topic too, and we are coming to loops. Loops right now. So loops are the important concepts of Python or else any programming language. It is always important that we can't write the steps and the logic for a couple of multiple times. So if you want to execute something like this, you want to have a looping system. Looping is always something like if you want to repeat a logic into a couple of times, we'll be using loop. So in loop we have two methods basically. First method is using for loop, and second one is using while loop. So for loop, so this is the syntax. For basically, we'll be using for something that we defined in string equal to print kind of this. We'll see examples of that. Yeah. So we have fruits as a list object here. So in the list, I want to print all the elements from the list. So if you want to print one on one, it might take a little bit time. So I'm using for loop for right now. So and here I'm saying for x in fruits, for x value in fruits, it will going into the loop and print x. So x will go here and it will print one of the element, and again loop starts and x will go here and it will print banana, and again it will go back to the for loop and it will print x of cherry, and x, and it will go back. That's what happens. So I'm just running this. Oh, we have an indentation error in the structure 22. Yeah, here is the output. So for the fruits, I have given three elements and I'm looping it for fruits, and we have output of apple, banana, and cherry. So here the logic is it is going into the for loop and it is printing the value of x, where x is an index value of list. So x of apple is printed in the first statement and it is gone through banana and it has second output. Such a way it works like that. So we have a command called break. So break is an string that says, so you are printing all the elements, that's fine, but if you want to stop it at some point, so to stop at that point we'll be using break command. So here in the output you can see, so if x equals to banana, you are breaking the terminating the loop statement basically. So it got into the banana and it stopped right there. It is not printing any cherry value. So that is the thing that happens. Basically, breaking meaning if you are in the loop and if you want to stop at some certain period of index or a certain period of word or a certain period of character or string, So you will be using break command. So you can just define like this: if something of variable that you are defining equal to something, so you can say terminate here. So that is one of the concept of break. And we have same such like that continue is also an method that can be used for it is also kind of removing. So continue is basically a remove term that we'll be using for looping statements. I'm just commenting out some of the lines and so that we can execute whatever we need. Yep. In the concept of continue, we have different fruits of the values as in list, and we are looping it out for value of x in fruits. If x is equal to banana, continue and print x. So what we are doing is, if x is of banana, remove this item and we are printing all the terms which are related to x value. X is again going into the loop and it is checking for the first value and it is printing as apple. And in the x in values of fruit, it is going to the banana. The condition is if that is equal to banana and continue. So it is removed this kind of this index of banana and it went again to the cherry and it is printing cherry. So that is the concept of continue. Continue is basically removing certain values from the looping table. And break is something, if you it will break a certain point, that is called breaking. So breaking is terminating at the point, that's it. And continue, it is removing, that's it. What if you want to loop something and you only have couple of uh, executable scenarios? Basically you want to pass in only range, so this is called range passing. So in the range passing, you are not passing every element into the string, but you will be passing only certain values from the loop statements. For a range of for x in range of 2 of 6, print x. Else part for x in the range of 6, so you are using break statement. Basically break meaning you are terminating at the point of 3. So this is the output. So in the for x in value range of 2 to 6, so it went to 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the output that is present for the values of x in the range of 2 and 6. So it printed 2 to 6 the range values. And in the second statement, for x in the range of 6, you are breaking at a point 3. So it printed 0, 1, 2, and at the point of 3, it broke the statement. So this is the using of range values in for loop. So basically, we'll be using for loop such in such scenarios. So this is the basic concept of looping, and you are using x as an integer assigned variable, and for this variable you are assigning some range values of 2 and 6, and you are just printing the x value. And same way, we are also having while statement here. So in the while statement, what you're doing, let's say we have an indentation error. So yes, here we are passing I equal to 1, and while I is less than 6, print I values, print I equal to plus 1. So yes, in the first statement I equal to 1 and I equal to 1 goes here, and if that is less than 6, it is printing 1, and as per the condition should be I plus or equal to 1. So the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it printed just values which are less than 6. And here also what we are doing in the same scenario, if something is less than 6 but if something is equal to 3, you are breaking it and plus and doing the plus value. This is one of the concept which is very equal to this for loop what we tried before. So did you get what while loop and for loop? So basic scenarios of uh, these are the syntaxes and scenarios for loop and also the while loop. So you are just defining one value using while condition method. So you are looping it out and you are just printing the values. So these are like very basic concept and very easily understandable concept for while loop and also the for loop. You can also try such scenarios in different ways. You can loop many items and many things. So but the syntax will be like this. You'll be placing while here and you're also giving a condition, and also you're printing or doing any logic here, and after that you'll be giving another condition for while. So what you are like defining before, and you'll be giving that plus one or else minus one the condition. Any doubts to here whatever we discuss right now? Are we good? Okay, I will take it and yes. So in the looping again, in the for loop we have a couple of examples here we can see. So for letter in Python, you are just printing the characteristics of letters. So the output is P Y T H O N as an output. So we have also something like fruits we just saw right now. And in the while condition, yes, you are giving some declaration, and also you are giving some while statement and printing it, and the condition count plus one. So it is printing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we are count defining less than 5. So that is one of the examples. Yeah, we have seen break and continue examples. Break, how you are breaking and terminating a loop statement, and continue you are skipping that statement. So we have another command called pass. Pass basically, pass is just a command. So we are using a comment, right? So comment as in hash or else three hyphens. So instead of this, but you are just want to remove some of the items from the executable steps, it will say that will pass into the output. So basically, uh, in here in this loop for letter in Python, if letter equal to h, you are just passing and you are printing the statement as print. This is a pass block, and the print current letter equals to letter. Yep. So Python. So here you have a pass block. So it is printing in the middle of statement. So basically, what happening here is in the while the loop started and when the letter is equal to h, you are printing some statement in the middle, and the loop continues, and it will, in the middle you have another executable file in the loop basically. So the concept is very simple. If you have created a loop and in the middle you want to have something which is out of the loop, and you want to print something in the middle of the loop, so you will be using pass method. Yep. We are going to functions right now. So yeah, this is the main concept of Python. So you can always write and code in different ways. So You can write hard coding is one of the way to write any logic in Python, but using functions you can also using functions. It is an easy way to define a function statement. So, like an example, you are using subtraction as a function. Using sub value, sub keyword, you can just work on it, and by using add keyword you can just work on it. Such a way functions are single, or there can be two types of functions: inbuilt functions and also user defined functions. In uh, inbuilt functions are else are like examples of using of keywords like enum function, or else count is a function and maximum is a function. So function is always consists of some inbuilt methodologies or else logic that executes while executing a Python script by just using only keywords. And you can also define some variable to a keyword, and you can define some function to that variable, and you can use the keyword in your requirement. The syntax follows like this basically for function syntax. So you will be defining some functional name and the parameters, and functions dot string and function statements written expression. This is an example. So here what you're doing, the print statement for print b as of string. So there are like three arguments that are valid for function arguments. So we'll be having required arguments and keyword arguments and also the default arguments. So in the key value pairs, we'll be using keyword arguments, and if we are like directly passing some list elements, we'll be using required arguments. Arguments are again meaning whatever you are passing into the parameters are arguments. So let's see one example. So here in the variable length arguments, so you're using asterisk value. So just say print info definition define def of print info arguments 1 and ASCII value of var tuple. So you are printing the output is 5. So and the argument 1 is something you are in the loop. So in the print info the table is 5, and print info there is another table of 10, 20, 30. So in the var table you are printing var, so it is printing the second table 10, 20, 30. Okay, that's tuple, that's it. Any questions here? We'll discuss further, but
No questions. Tanay.
okay. Yeah. In basic functional functions concept, so as function we said there is a method that is we can define inbuilt, or else we can have a user defined functions in the def using def command. So def method basically keyword, sorry, def keyword. So we have used keyword of def, and we are giving some name to that function. The function name is school subject. So we are printing the list. We have given a condition called C in sub and print C. So courses, you have defined it in the bottom. So courses are something like this values, and you are printing sub school equals to courses. If I run this, let's do one thing. Just copy this code and we'll be running somewhere else. So indentation is missing in this execution. Basically, I commented out main parts and trying to run something, so it's not working. So basically, this is the console. I'm trying to run a new file. So we'll be selecting a language of Python 3, and this will be the output. And we're running it here. So yes, this is the output. So you can see I have defined a function of school sub, and we are printing that list for the C and subjects. Sub basically we define sub as an object. So for seeing this object printing C of again, it is go to the loop and here an integer variable that will be going into the loop. And loop starts with the sub we define for school subjects. For school subjects, that is the object of courses, and the courses are this. So it is printing math, science, English, and social. This is the way to define functions. So we'll be also doing this Fibonacci series. Fibonacci, Fibonacci series is a basic concept for some of the functions. So basically, you can also write any Fibonacci series in different ways, but by using functions, this is the way of writing it. You are defining a name of Fibonacci. So Fibonacci of n, when n is in the loop is when less than or equal to 0, print incorrect input. N is equal to 1 and return 0. If n is equal to 2, return 1. Else, return Fibonacci of the logic is n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So you are giving a value of dynamically. So we saw previously how to give a value dynamically, and you are keeping that in the range of 1 and plus 1 and printing of n. You are giving the value of n. I'm just giving the value of n equal to 5. You are pushing the loop of 5 times basically. So and this is the output of Fibonacci series 0, 1 and 1, 1 and 2 and 3. So the logic here is whenever it goes into the loop n, the first space it will go for one value, and 1 it is less than or equal to 0. So it is not equal to 0, it will remove this statement and it will go to the next one, and if n equal to 5, so the n value that we given is 5. 5 is equal to 1, so it should return 0. Else it is not equal, right? So it is written some value of 0, and n equal to 2 and return 1. So it executed 1, and it else Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So let's say 1 minus 1 equals to 0 plus again and 1 minus 2 equal to minus 1. So plus 1 and minus 1 it will be 0, and the first output is 0, and second time it will be 2. 2 minus 1 is something, and plus 2 minus 2 is 0. So the output is 1, and the output is 1. Such a way it will execute for n values one on one, and when the value is reaches the 5 element, so it will terminate there, and the end value points right here. If I run it again, if I give the value is equal to 1, so it says only 0 because there is only one time loop, so the value is 0. That's it. Or if I give the value of n equal to 0, and it will say incorrect input. So basically this is the print statement that we are giving when the value is 0. So if that is equal to 0, it will say incorrect input. This is the Fibonacci series. Any questions on this Fibonacci series? Just it is just going with the loop, and it will go one on one value, and it will go with the logic that we have given for Fibonacci, and that's it. Nothing much to know here. And it is an input value that we are giving dynamically. Yeah. So we are arranging it for 1 equal to n plus 1. That's it. Any questions here?
No questions.
Okay. Let's see more couple of examples in functions. So we have yeah. Yep. So basically, we have defined some value of define a function of date, and we have date and month and y as some key value pairs, and you are printing just d. You are printing I slash in the middle and m and y, where each values have something, and the date values are, this is one of the format, and again second date has 20, and third date function has 2023, and I think another one has 20 and 23. So in this format, if you are printing something of first one in the day, so it will take this one and it has printed something, and in the second time 20 as in date, it has printed something, and third date of like 2023, it has passed into the date string, and so in the d string it is executed as 2023 up to 1 2022. So that format basically. So basically it got onto the first index. That's it. We have lambda function again. So lambda functions are anonymous basically. So uh, normally we will be using def keyword to define a normal function. Similarly, we will be having lambda as a keyword. For lambda keyword, so you will be using number of arguments, and only one single expression basically. So in lambda functions, you can execute couple of statements in a single line. So that is the basic functionality of lambda. So this is one of example. So you are defining su as a variable. So for lambda of a comma b, and you are using closing this, and you are doing subtraction, and in the same single line, so print sum of sum equal to s equal to su equal to 10 comma 20. If you are running it, the output is 30. So basically, in single statement, you are defined a value and you have assigned a value and you given a condition. In the second line, you are just printing it the value of su, and the su value that you given as 10 and 20. So this is the functionality of lambda. By using lambda keyword, you can give multiple statements and conditions in the same line. There are more couple of examples. Yeah, here you can see cr equal to lambda of x is determinable, print of x, and string cr, while x is equal to python. So string function lambda at this code. Okay. Oh, we haven't defined any cr values. So basically, first what happening is cr equal to lambda, and x statement is print of x. You are printing the string of cr. Cr will it is a lambda function. So the output is string function is also lambda. It's some given value. So this is the storage unit that has been happened for lambda. Okay, in the second stage, x equal to lambda x of x you are closing here, and x equal to x plus 10. The condition is x plus 10, and x equal to 123. You are printing the value of s of x, and it's 133. And here you are defining some square, and square is of s, and you are returning a value of condition of s into s, and where you define the value s equal to square of 4, and you are printing the square of s equal to, and it is 16. This is the output. Any questions on this lambda function?
We repeat what is the lambda, where we can use this lambda. Is it the similar to function?
Yeah, so basically lambda is an inbuilt keyword for the function. So for the using any function, firstly we will be using def keyword. So while def keyword you are using for user defined functionalities. So previously we saw something example like you are defining some Fibonacci as a variable, and you are assigning a value of n, and you are denoting in the substring of these values. So any range of this thing. So and you are giving some conditions over written statement, and you are executing the file. So this definition of function is working such a way for the Fibonacci of n, it is going into the loop, and you are working some conditions inside, and it is doing one-on-one execution. For lambda, so this is a def and user included function for def. So by using lambda, in lambda is an function, so there is like you there is no need to define any name. For define, you need to define some name for it, and name is an again class or an object. So you can define something to it for specifically. For lambda, there is like no define a name, integer, or else anything. You can just directly work on the a condition execution. So basically, in this statement, you can see by using s equal to lambda of x. So for the lambda, the function of x, and expressed in directly x equal to 23, you are printing the value of s of x directly. You're not defining something, and you're not giving the value for x in the bottom. Or so the definition initialization is not required in lambda. So just by using this keyword, it will understand this function as, so you have something in the line, so there is a condition, and that needs to be executed in the single execution. So that understand that, so where s equal to lambda of x and x plus 10 the condition, so you are initializing some statement here, and you are initializing a condition here, and you defined some value here in the bottom, and you are printing that statement. So the execution happens like this: initialization and the condition, it will be in the same line.
In C language, it's equal to ternary operator something, right? You can call lambda. In C language, you have
Yeah.
the ternary operator like A greater than equal to B, like print A colon B something. The ternary operator, am I right?
So in C language, that is different scenario. In Python, different scenario. In C language, we need to define everything in the topmost layer. So you need to import some packages in C language, basically. So
Uh-huh.
for Python, so we are not inbuilt. So there are everything inbuilt in the Python, basically. So already there is a lambda function defined variables packages in your local. So I'll show you an example. Okay. So what exactly happens? So while you are installing Python in your local, let's just go to. I'll show the difference between the C language and here. Okay, on the path, I'm going to the Python space. Program files. Okay, I haven't stored anything as of now. Python 1.3. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so you can see there is a site package folder here, right? So right, I'm explaining what is this right now. So PyCharm. So in your local, you will be having two things. One is your own library, and if you are running in your local with the Python, you will be having a library of Python. So here in the PyCharm, I have created ven.v. Ven.v is a virtual environment. In the virtual environment, if you are installing some packages of Python, you will be having a folder called site packages. In the site packages, you will be having all the inbuilt packages that are inbuilt with the Python. So in this inbuilt functionalities itself, so there are like a couple of MATLAB notebook, and so there is pip and pip packages related to pip packages. So in the pip package, you are having some cats and something related to pip related things, and like platform DRs and Python basic executions, and there is like a couple of Py, Python related packages and keywords that are defined here, right? So from that, uh, uh, if you are defining something of lambda, it will fetch that site packages details, and it will consider such as okay, this is some lambda function that is inherited from site packages. So this has some defined method that needs to be executed. So in the point of execution, it just directly execute as a function. Okay, so in C language, you will be not having this site packages as an output folder. So such a way, you what you will be doing is you will be importing like this. And see, let me open a new file.
So
Yeah, here you can see you are saying include studio text, right? This is so studio studio is an input output, standard input output. So you'll be also using include match console dot h basically. So that is for input and output for console methods. So this is the conditions that you're using to include something of input output conditions from the header. So this is
okay,
difference. So in Python, we doesn't need to define anything such like that. So you can just directly print something. So difference. See. So in C, if you want to print something, the same line. So you are using include and also int method, and you are using a main function. And in the main function, you are defining some print value, and you are returning zero if something is not null. So you are returning zero, and you are having an output. So if I run this, you'll be having an output of hello world in
okay,
Python. So in Python, we are not defining anything as there are like inbuilt packages. So that is why we are using print. I mean like Python basically. So it is a robust, and all the packages already are inbuilt in Python. So in the local itself. So if you are working on something, you can just if something is not present, let's say an example, if you are trying to print any method, let's do an you know, example. So let's say I'm just opening Gemini. Write a Python code for printing star shapes, okay, using lambda function. So this is the value. Basically, this is the code that can be executed to produce some shapes. Basically, the shapes of so I have given like printing star shapes. Basically, I can just copy this. If I go to my library and I can just putting like this, I'm running this. So you can see the output. The star shapes of phi. So this is one of the shape, and this is one of the shape, and this is one of the shape, and this is one of the shape. So you see, I'm not defining anything so lightly. I just used it and I just copied it. So here you are using input of math command. So if I'm doing this in my local, so it will be in the same format, but the package is already there. So no matter what, how I copy it, it will execute. The main difference, if I do this for C language doesn't have any inbuilt commands. You also always need to include some of the packages, and you need to fetch some of the packages from your cloud of C language. So that's called interpreters. So from your interpreter, you need to include it, and you need to execute it. So here I'll explain this logic using lambda function. Basically, in the Starship, you are defining some lambda function of n. So for n is join, this is the condition. So it says you are defining something on the first line, and also your condition using condition in the same line. So that's the variable functionality of lambda in Python. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions?
So I'm good. Yeah.
No questions.
Yep, so we have done with the functions basically. For tomorrow's class, we will discuss the concepts of OOPs basically. So OOP that consists of classes, objects, and also the other four types of OOPs concept like encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance and abstraction. Uh, we'll be only discussing these topics very keenly, nothing else. We will be discussing OOPs concept tomorrow. Yeah, we are good for today, and thank you, team.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kalyan.